Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk, KFYO. Thank you very much for tuning in this morning. We go to the phones right now. Our good friend Stephen Orr with the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, which you can hear right here on KFYO from 10 p.m. to midnight. Download the KFYO app, and you can listen all over West Texas, well, all over the world, really, with the KFYO app. Stephen, good morning.
Chad, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm all right. Any barbecue hangover?
Well, a little bit. It's still, that's some good stuff. When you're eating barbecue for 4 hours, that's not a bad day.
I've got to admit, I was kind of jealous.
Yeah, I understand. There were a few people. I got looks. I'll say that. I did receive some looks up here from people that were not too happy that they were not invited.
Well, did you bring doggy bags for anybody? I mean, did you think of the other people there?
That's a great question. No. Let me say that there's not a lot of leftovers.
There you go. Good job.
Not a lot of leftovers when you have that many people judging.
Well, after all of that, you should have some good ideas about tailgating tonight as everybody heads out to go play a little football.
Absolutely. It's going to be, it looks like, hopefully, it's going to be a good night for high school football.
I want to tell you what a nightmare last week. Cancellations and game shortened and all that, but big, opening week. This is really the opening week for a lot of teams when it comes to district play. A few teams are already involved in district play, but some big games going on tonight. Friendship starts district play as they host the Midland Lee Rebels. Friendship sits at 3-2. Midland Lee's at 4-1 on the year. Midland Lee averages 39 points a game while only giving up 15. Their sole loss on the season was in Week 3 to Abilene High School. And Friendship comes in giving up 31 and scoring 31, so they're really balanced there. But I think they're going to have their hands full tonight. The quarterback from Midland has thrown for 786 yards, 10 touchdowns versus 2 interceptions, also run for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Friendship going to have to be able to step up and hold Midland Lee below their season average in scoring to have a chance to win that ball game. Game took place on Thursday night. Lubbock High travels up to Amarillo Caprock. Lubbock High 0-2 on the year in district play, and they didn't do very well last night. Caprock a 63-7 win there. Caprock improving better than I thought they would, but Lubbock High still struggles. The Westerners still struggling to find their way on offense. Big ball game tonight there in Lubbock with the Amarillo High Sandys coming in at 4-1 overall, 1-0 in district play to take on the Lubbock Coronado team that is 2-0 in district play. Coronado is averaging 39 points a game while giving up 20. Amarillo High averaging 30, giving up 22. They're had a win over Monterey, 3 points. The thing is, Amarillo has only scored over 40 one time this season. Lubbock Coronado has had 4 games over 40 and has not scored less than 30 points in any game they've played this year. Advantage Coronado. Also, Sawyer Robinson has 1,660 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. That leads the South Plains area, and so can Amarillo and their defense step up and slow Sawyer Robinson down? That's going to be the story of that game, and that should be a really good ball game. Lubbock Cooper travels up to Plainview to take on the Bulldogs. Cooper's at 5-0 on the year, and Plainview is at 1-4 on the year. Lubbock Cooper is averaging 43 points a game. Plainview has scored 35 points all season. So that one, Plainview is going to have to figure out how to move the ball, and they're going to have to slow down Isaiah Johnson, who's rushed for nearly 600 yards and 11 touchdowns on the year. And Brendan Mell, the quarterback there, has thrown for 850 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's had 5 interceptions, so he's averaging 1 pick a game. But Plainview's going to have to play one of their best games of the year, and I don't think they'll do that. I think Cooper comes home 6-0 in that ball game. Brownfield travels down to Seminole. Brownfield is 4-2 on the year. Seminole 3-2 on the year, and Brownfield actually they average 28 points a game. They give up 30, but they're 4-2. So a lot of that's due to shallow water. Shallow water really blew them out, and that kind of messed their average up. Seminole is averaging 27 points while giving up 14. They're very stout on defense, but Seminole's going to have to do a good job tonight as they take on two leaders in the South Plains in quarterback Brock Sires, who's thrown for nearly 900 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Chili Moran, who has run for 774 yards. Brownfield has been able to move the ball. Their problem has been shooting himself in the foot. And so if they can eliminate turnovers, if they can play solid there, I think they've got a good chance. But Seminole, again, Kent Jackson's team always plays very stout defense, and so that's going to be a good one to watch there. Snyder comes into tonight's district contest with Monahans at 4-1 overall, 1-0 in district play. Monahans is 4-2 and 2-0. Snyder coming off a 2-9 season last year, and a big part of the Snyder Tigers' resurgence has been Logan Green. The quarterback has thrown for 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns on the year. He's going up against a stout defense in the Monahans Lobos, though. And Monaghan's a team that really can grind it out on the ground. So Snyder's defense is going to have to be really good against the run, and they're going to have to get some folks open. But that should be a really good ball game. Lubbock Estacada travels up to the Panhandle coming off. They played at Clint last week and drove all night to get home. I mean, they got home early Saturday morning, like breakfast time.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to take off, and they're going to go off to the Great White North and play 35 miles north of Amarillo. So that's another 130-mile trip. But they're going to take on a Borger team that has averaged scoring 9 points a game and giving up 57 points a game, and that's not a good deal for Borger when you have Jeremiah Dobbins coming to town, who leads the South Plains in rushing at 850 yards and 11 touchdowns, and senior Seth Porter, who came off a 159-yard rushing game last week and has about 500 rushing yards. That's going to be a bad blowout, which will make the drive home just a little bit easier if Estacado will
a little
show
more
up
fun.
and play. Man, that is one of the more lopsided tilts that we have on the board, and I think Estacado is going to really have a big day there. Everybody gets to play.
Well, that's good.
It's my prediction.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Everyone gets a little chance out there.
So Slayton hosts the Bushland Falcons. Slayton, a team that's 4-1 on the year, and they are really playing some good football, especially on the defensive side. They're only giving up 16 points a game, while averaging 29. Bushland, a little more prolific on offense, averages 34 points a game, giving up 22. But this should be a really tight ball game. Slayton's going to be tested, but they've already been tested when they played the likes of New Deal, and they showed what they could. Even in a loss, they showed what they can do, and I think that's going to be a really tight ball game there to kick off the district season for Slayton. Littlefield and Muleshoe. Littlefield comes into the ball game at 1-4. Muleshoe at 0-5, and these are two teams that we're used to talking about at the top of the district. And this may be a battle for last place in the district. These two teams just really struggling this year to get anything going. So a chance there for Muleshoe to find their first win of the year, or Littlefield to improve. But just the two teams that are down. Shallowater goes up to Amarillo to take on River Road. Shallowater is scoring 46 points a game, and River Road is giving up 45 points a game, while River Road only averages 22 points a game, and Shallowater gives up 18. So I'm going to say that the score of the game is going to be 46-21.
I like it. Okay. All right.
Stats don't lie, do they?
No, never.
You got 1-4 Abernathy taking on Stanton. It's 1-4 on the year. Abernathy should be in good shape in that game behind the play of Carson of Daly there at Abernathy, and Abernathy's going to be in contention for the top of that district. Stanton not so much. Idalou hosts Coahoma. Coahoma comes in at 2-3. Idalou is resurgent at 1-4, and they're a team that coming off a disappointing season last year, they've got out to the quick 1-4 start. And Marcus Newton there, the senior, has 351 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Pierce Clary has thrown for 208 yards, 3 touchdowns on the year. And I think they can come out with the win in that ball game as well. Then let's flip over, and you've got Colorado City at 5-0 coming to Lubbock Roosevelt at 0-5. Colorado City has been a really, really tough team, and they're going to contend for that district championship there. Roosevelt still struggling to find their way on offense. They cannot put points on the board, and that's been really tough. A big showdown over in Sundown tonight as the Roughnecks host the Floydada Whirlwinds. Floydada comes into the ball game at 5-0 on the year. First time since 2001 Floydada has been 5-0. And they're taking on a 4-1 Sundown team that's ranked number 8 in the state. Floydada's had got about 1,500 yards rushing on the year with 5 different backs, so they can really spread that ball around. But Sundown has over 2,000 yards total offense on the year. And the thing is, both of these teams very opportunistic. So far this season, Floydada has 20 turnovers that they've caused on defense. Sundown has 15. So ball protection is going to be key here, as both of these teams have been very opportunistic on the year. Sundown's only loss came earlier in the year to Abernathy, and I will say that Sundown has played probably top to bottom a tougher schedule than Floydada, but Floydada's defense has been really swarming, and I think this is going to could be a really good ball game, even though the spread I've seen on the sites is anywhere from 21 to 31 points, Sundown's favor. But we'll see how that goes. Post host Hale Center, 2-3. Post versus 3-2 Hale Center. This should be a good ball game. Whichever team gets their offense rolling first, I think, has a chance. Post probably a little more physical on defense than Hale Center, and certainly has played a tougher schedule. But I think that could be a really good ball game. The New Deal Lions take their 4-0 record down to Olton. Last week's game, they had their last game canceled against Lubbock Trinity, so they're the beneficiary of 2 bye games on the year, and they're going to take on Olton, who had the bye. New Deal averaging 38 points a game, while Olton's averaging 29. And if New Deal can shut down Olton's running attack, I think that should be a quick win for New Deal. Sudan travels to Bovina. Sudan's 5-0 on the year. They're averaging 35 points, and Sudan's defense has only given up 7 points a game, and that's to compare against Bovina's 32-15. And I think Sudan probably the toughest team that Bovina has stepped on the field with this year, so we'll see how that goes. And finally, in private school action, Lubbock Christian hosts Flower Mound Coram Deo, and this is going to be a really interesting ball game. Deo is 5-0 on the year. Lubbock Christian 3-2. They bring to town Cooper Walthall, who has 936 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns. So he's probably going to go over the 1,000-yard rushing mark tonight, averaging just under 10 yards a carry. But that then Deo is also going to have to shut down the passing attack of Lubbock Christian High School and Alex Timmons, who's thrown for 1,431 yards, 13 touchdowns against 2 picks. So a good ball game there as well.
Stephen, what are 1 or 2 of the big games that people need to go out and see?
Amarillo Coronado. They're at Lowry. That's going to be a great ball game. I'm really looking forward to that one. I like the Floydada Sundown game. I think that could be a really good ball game. I'm interested to see about Snyder and Monahans. That's another one. Of course, you'll have to drive all the way to the Permian Basin, as that one's at Monahans. But a good ball game there, and then also Slayton hosting Bushland. Those are the ones I really like.
All right, very nice. Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, as always. Appreciate you giving us a call and giving a preview of these games this weekend.
Well, Chad, thank you. We appreciate you guys and all you do for us.
Absolutely. That's Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, which you can hear right here on KFYO tonight from 10 p.m. to midnight.